Sorry. It's forever recorded if we ever need blackmail material against her.
Got that. Thank you.
We could just nail it. A button, like a Twitter button that we can just...
Yeah, just like do that, pop that into people's streams randomly.
we could use that as an incentive for in our Sheekery streams.
Yeah.
Totally fun.
All right, are you guys ready?
Let's try this again.
All right.
Please stop growling.
3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? I'm Kiri.
I'm Meru.
I'm Panda Ponycat.
Alice here.
And this is Sheekery!
Woo!
Just, I can't anymore. It's killing me. Oh my god. So, today we have a really exciting episode. I was pretty stoked, and it's funny because we literally just kind of, like, nailed this down last night. So, like, 24 hours before we decided to record this podcast, we decided on what the topic was going to be. So, I got a call on my way home from our little meetup that we were doing our collectibles. And I lost my mind because I have a really cool one. But I want all the rest of you to go first because all of you have such, like, interesting and really diverse kind of, like, things that you collect. And so, yeah, I don't...
It's definitely the coolest.
How did you guys come up with this idea last night, by the way?
I don't even know.
I think I was mostly on Alice. She just like she was just like, this is a thing, let's do that. We were all like, yeah, let's do that thing. That's a great thing.
That was a really good idea.
Pop vinyls. We were talking about pop vinyls, which is funny because none of us are actually talking about
none of us picked
vinyls
it
today. I only have 2. But we were talking about things that because of the little Minecraft things, because of like the little mystery boxes that you get from the store and like, the ponies or the Minecraft stuff. I was opening some Minecraft ones and we were talking about collecting different things and like what is it that you absolutely need to have all of. Or can you, because with the Minecraft, I literally only wanted the wolf. I bought 3 of them just so that I could hopefully get the wolf, but I don't need to go get all 6 or 8 or however many there are.
Right. So the things that we decided to focus on were literally things that we must have all of them.
Yes.
Well, I don't know that mine's all... I don't think I can ever have all of the things.
Right. I don't think the rest of us can either, but I feel like if we stopped somewhere and they had one of our things, we'd be like, oh my god, we're having the thing.
Well, I feel like there's a building that has all of them, and if I take that particular building over...
Right. Right.
I have all of them.
So, Alice, let's start with you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about like what you collect and why you collect it?
Well, I collect books, as it has been pointed out to me.
It's true.
She's been posting
with pictures
in the Discord channel. Yeah, posting all of these photos of her books, and oh my god.
It's amazing.
I have a lot of books. I've always been a fast reader. So it started out really as more of a people would buy me books and I would be done them so quickly. I need more books. I need more books now. Feed me more books. Feed me Seymour.
Yes, Seymour.
So it's just become this thing. And then that's sort of where I leapt into comic book collecting. So I also have a huge collection of comic books and just pretty much anything in print. Important magazines that are relevant to current events I keep preserved, not in wax. But
so I want to say, like, in your photo, there's got to be at least like a couple hundred in between the 3 photos that you've sent us, right? I mean, like 2.
Just the ones that aren't in storage,
right?
Just of what's offhand, like just ready to go.
Just ready to go. She's got like 200 sitting like on a shelf within her vicinity right now.
This is fine.
And
most of them, impressively, have been read, probably, by her, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah, there's just the one floor stack that's relatively new since Christmas that I haven't gotten through yet.
Have you been to, like, any of the major libraries in the U.S.? Or anywhere, really?
Sort of funny story. I wanted to be a librarian.
Like that new TV show on TV?
She could totally pull off, like, the super hot librarian look, too.
I really wanted to be a librarian so bad. I spent all of my time in high school, like, I spent my lunches and my free periods all the time that all the other kids were hanging out and doing not ridiculously nerdy things. I spent that time in the library.
You know,
and
I love that.
I wasn't even a library aide, but the librarian was just like, okay, well, if you're going to be here, you might as well learn how to catalog all this.
Like, you should help me.
It's kind of hilarious because I spent my time in high school capitalizing on the nerds that lived in the library. I sold them coffee. We started like a coffee shop in the library.
Oh my God, awesome.
So I kind of love how we all fit into our roles so simplistically in this little scenario. So I'm sorry, keep going. That was funny.
Yeah, I really wanted to be a librarian, and apparently it takes a master's in library sciences, and that is just more money than I have. It's such a niche degree.
I actually have a friend who's a librarian.
Well, it's so hard to get into a library because it's basically a lifer position.
Well, I was going to say, like, nobody dies in libraries. Like, you have no stress in your job.
For you to get in there and to spend all that money on a master's degree that basically you have one job.
You had one job.
It doesn't seem worth it. But yeah, that was like, if I had a dream job, it would be a librarian. And I spent so much time in the university library. And just like wandering around it, looking at all the books and trying to see how far I could get in the restricted section before somebody stopped me.
Have you been to the Library of Congress before?
I have not. It's on the bucket list.
That was my bucket list item. That was one of them. And I went and ended up, they don't let you, now I'm going to give you a tip on how to sneak in because they don't just let you in, apparently. To get into the Library of Congress, you have to generally be a student studying something. You have to have like a deep need to be in there, right? Not just like, I just need to be in there, because that doesn't work. I tried that.
I need to be in.
I need to be in you. That doesn't work. The old lady gave me this look like, you're a moron, go away. And you have to sneak downstairs, like through all these tunnels underneath DC to get to this one like room buried under the streets that like you can get a library card from them. And you just tell them you're researching something. Just whatever, I don't know, pick literally anything. The lady down in that room does not care. She just wants you in and out of her office as quickly as possible. Then you got to go to not the lady that you talked to in the first place. You got to go show the ID to some other person on a different floor so you can get into the thing. Don't go there without a library card.
They will arrest you.
I'd be studying libraries. Because I feel like I have a library. I mean, I've got tons. I have leather-bound collector's editions. I have signed editions. I have. Oh well, okay. Let's face it. Most of my stuff is first edition.
Duh.
I'm a snob.
You're a book snob. That's amazing. Yes.
I've picked up books at yard sales, and my mom will be like, "Oh, what do you think of this?" And I'll open up the cover, and I'll see like second edition or second printing. And
second edition.
No.
Ew.
Get that away from me. I don't even want to touch that. No.
It's printed on inferior paper.
Second class.
Take it away.
That's awesome. I love books. I'm obsessed with books, but man, I am nowhere near on your level, honey. Like I thought Library of Congress was like my bucket list item. Like I should have like gotten out of the way and been like, Alice, please, you go first.
do the thing.
We could plan a Sheekery trip.
Oh my God, yes, because I want to go back. I need to sneakily get a new library card because mine expired, but it's fine.
I feel like
it's all
four
fine.
of us just going there full force in that lady's office. She'll do anything to get rid of us.
Right, one of us will just hold her down.
Away.
I'll take a library card for life, just never come back.
Since I've been, I can hold her down and you guys can just run in the doors. It's fine.
It's totally fine.
So, Kat, I think you should go next. We can kind of like maneuver from like books to fancy things.
Ooh, fancy things.
I have collector's leather-bound editions. Those are
But,
fancy.
okay, book snob, that's enough.
Calm it down.
So, of course, like we started talking about, collectibles and the first things you start to think about are just the obvious stuff, comic books and paraphernalia. And I collect nerds
Yeah.
and nerd things. And I do mean the people, in fact.
She
I
collects them. All of them.
I collect them, put them in my little pouch.
How many do you have now?
I have like 165 Twitter followers. So it's kind of getting serious.
Right.
But it's
Hardcore
great.
collector.
Super hardcore. And they're all people that I really care about because they're amazing. So it's just great. But, we're starting to try and think of, the unique things that kind of put me into who I am and what I do and the things that I collect. And if people don't know me, when I was in college, I got my bachelor's degree in art history and communications. So after college, at some point, I worked for the Sangre de Cristo Art Center in Pueblo for about a year, changing over probably 30 exhibits in the course of a year because they have like 7 gallery spaces.
Wow.
And they change them 4 times a year for the seasons.
What?
And a couple of, obviously like because it's sometimes local artists or whoever that do some of the exhibits, you can purchase their artwork. So I've started slowly collecting, like I have to have my hands on these artists that like give me, and like I need all of these things in my life. And so I have slowly accumulated actual pieces of like, artists' artwork. Alice actually being one of them, even though she won't tell you she's an artist, I actually keep her artwork. I have several pieces by her specifically.
Nice.
And then they do this whole show. So there's this whole show that they do around Christmas at the San Francisco Art Center that is called Own Your Own. And the whole point is to gather a lot of different artists into one place in this beautiful space for them to display things and sell them so you can buy them and give them as Christmas presents, basically.
So, asking for a goat, how do you get into one of these things?
Like, just to buy things?
No,
or
like to sell them? Like to just be in the art show? Like, how would you get into one of those?
You kind of, so theirs is around probably the middle of the year. I think they start opening up their, like submission process. You just have to like submit just kind of a small bio, a little bit of your artwork. It's
cool.
not super hard, and there's a lot of really amazing artists and a lot of really supportive people in there. So definitely tell him to keep his eyes open for that because it's actually really amazing. It's a good way to start getting your name out there because you can put your price tag on it. So you can be like, okay, $20 for this, or if you want, once you get your name more established, you can start asking more, things like that. And the people who go to it, you start to get your name out, and it's absolutely amazing.
That's cool.
And
so so what kind of art do you prefer? Like, what kind of styles do you enjoy?
So, I mean, if people know me, they know I really like lean towards super kind of classical type stuff. Like I was specifically focused on Greek and ancient arts in college, but nowadays for art I purchase, it's stuff that is I love like ink prints, sort of like kind of like the process that you do for like screen printing on t-shirts. You do it in art form.
That's cool.
And one of the artists I purchased at Own Your Own the year that I worked it was this guy named Justin Miller. And I remember the specific painting, because we worked there, we got like the first sampling. Like we kind of got our eyes on everything first, and we could put things aside for ourselves. And
isn't that
of
the
course,
best of working somewhere?
That's
it's
the
absolutely
whole
amazing.
point
Like
of working
it
somewhere.
was perfect. It was amazing. So they're like, you can kind of like put a couple things aside for yourself. And I remember laying my eyes on this piece that he calls Redhead with Berries. And it's this, this bird with these berries in its mouth and like a branch. And it's so just simple and elegant and just
That's
absolutely gorgeous. Right. No, absolutely. And it's just so beautiful and elegant. And they actually put it on the flyer for Own Your Own, was that specific piece by Justin Miller. And so everyone kept coming into the gallery like, where's this piece? And I'm like, oh, it's already gone.
No idea.
It's totally fine. It's gone. Not.
Somebody bought
I
it.
didn't buy it already. This is fine. So that piece is hanging in my living room, and I love every freaking second of it because it's just perfect and elegant and beautiful. But like this is just fun how you get to like get your hands on these things that are just one of a kind and beautiful. And I mean, I literally could just like gush and talk about all of it all day, every day. And there's like fun people who make these cool little like collage type situations that are absolutely amazing. Zoe Ace was one of them, and they also make like magnets for my fridge. And I got so many awesome like fun collectibles and just cool things to look at. And so my house is a hodgepodge of just cool like fun artwork, and I can't even get enough of it. I can't ever stop collecting it because there's just so much amazing stuff out there in the world that I want to keep for myself and share with other people. So
we were talking about this before we started a bit, and we had mentioned we all kind of buy like art at like conventions and stuff too. And I don't buy a ton. I am crazy particular about my art, like crazy particular. And I don't have any one style I like, and there's no like, it's mostly color. I'm more into color than any other thing about a particular kind of painting. But is there any like, I don't know, artists at Denver Comic Con or any of the other ones that you're super into?
So I just like totally peruse all of the artist booths at all of the different conventions because there's just some amazing stuff out there. There was one artist I found at DCC a couple of years ago that did all of the Ninja Turtles in the style of all of the Colorado sports teams. So I
cool.
obviously bought, because Donatello is my favorite Ninja Turtle, so I obviously bought one of his pieces that was Donatello as the Rockies player, because the Rockies are my favorite,
Right.
and Donatello is my
And
favorite.
purple.
And it was made for me. Like, that whole thing was made for me.
It was absolutely made for her.
But one guy that I push and shove at people, like, I don't care what they think, I just push and shove him, is, his name is Robert Esslinger, and his style is very unique, and I eat and just breathe his artwork because I think it's gorgeous. It has this very Rorschach-y, like drip painting style to it that's just a whole different point of view that I have probably at least 10 of his prints, and then I have just given everybody because it's
I
so
feel like,
like
you bought me at least 5.
Yeah, I've given her like 5. And I'm like, oh, it's a thing you like, and because it's a whole new take on that specific character. Because I think I've given you a Transformers one, and like an Alice in Wonderland one, and like all these other ones, because he just takes a whole new like light to it, and it's just unbelievable and breathtaking. And those are the kinds of things I love. I love it when somebody takes something that everyone has seen and puts a whole new light on it. I think that's just the most amazing thing in the whole world. So I eat, sleep, and breathe like everything he does, and I push it at people as often as I can.
That is so cool.
This in your life now.
If you didn't know you needed this, you need it now.
It's in your life now.
You get a thing, and you're gonna keep it. You're gonna love
You
it.
get a thing, and you get a thing.
I am Oprah with Robert Esslinger's art, like for days.
Marie, are there any like artists that you particularly like to pick up at any of the conventions we go to?
You know, I've never really bought art because I don't have a lot of space for art.
Mm-hmm.
But I will always try and buy prints of like at least friends that I know. And I have a few, and I can't remember offhand. Like when I worked at the it was Comic Fest a couple years ago at DCC, I had a bunch of people give me art. And I
That's
don't
awesome.
sadly remember some of their names.
I'm really bad with artist names too. I just know I'm like I like that picture.
Stan Yan do like 3 different. He's done like 3 or 4 characters for me, and I just adore his stuff. It's so great.
Yeah, and Matt Campbell, who does a lot of the like badge artwork for DCC and the programs, his stuff is so good. But one particular painting that I have on display in my office is actually by my niece, Tara, Nova Night Cosplay.
Cool. Yeah.
And she painted is the TARDIS, and it has 3 Daleks on it, and above it in Chinese is written "Exterminate."
Wow, that's amazing.
That's cool.
It's like the coolest thing I have, and that's
awesome.
I should post a picture of it sometime because she just painted it, and I was like, I can have that.
That's mine now.
And she was like, sure. I was like, that's mine.
This is for me now.
And I can't remember the artist that you were talking about, the guy that does the robots chase people.
Oh, that is he's like my favorite. I look for him every time we go to Denver Comic Con, and the first year we went, I got 2 of his pictures, and there was a third one that I was missing, and I think it was the robot. And I was like, I need
tree and people.
Yes, I was like, I need the robot. I need that one thing. And then sure enough, like we went last year, and I bought that because he had ran out by the time I'd gotten to his booth. So I got the 2 I wanted. Followed him for a year, and then finally picked it up again at the next Denver Comic Con. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy more. I just have no idea where I'm going to put them.
I like to think to myself that when you stalk them for one specific thing, it has to be flattering and not creepy.
Right.
Is how I like to view it. Like, it's really not creepy that I'm just going to stalk you until you give me this very one specific piece that I want.
I think we even told him that, and he was like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've been following him for like a year, and I was like, it's fine, I've been looking for you everywhere, like every convention I go to.
I think he was flattered. He didn't seem freaked out.
I feel like artists are good about that kind of stuff. Like, they just take it, they're like, wow, that's so sweet, and it's not creepy. Like, it's and to them, they're just like, no, it's actually very flattering that you've gone through all this effort to find me and find this one thing, and I will absolutely do everything I can to help you get that thing.
Yes.
Yeah, he was super nice, and then he was super excited, and he's like, yeah, come back and see me next year. And I'm like, I will.
I will see you every year forever.
I don't have a lot of room for art, but I think I want to buy his magnets, because he has all the paintings in like a magnet form, and I kind of collect magnets too, so I'm like, magnets.
Oh, I know. Those are what I'm probably going to go for next also, because I'm running out of space on my walls.
I need your magnets, thank you.
Oh, you guys need more space on your walls.
Right.
Especially when I start, throwing Robert Esslinger stuff.
I mean, I have vertical space, but I feel like that starts to look weird.
Winter is coming.
Now. Once you're her people, it's coming.
I have ceiling space. You can hang them on the ceiling.
I could. But I feel like that would start to look weird.
No, it's fine.
Right, it's this whole encompassing. It's fine. Guys, I'm sorry. I bought more art.
Your garage is just filled with them. You're like, what? It's fine.
Don't look
You're
up.
like, this is fine.
Just giving you all horse blinders when you come into my house from now on.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, good. Perfect.
So, Maru, if we're going to talk about kind of epically large collections of things, I feel like we need to talk about yours next.
Epically large collections of things. I do have an epically large collection of something.
Huge tracks of collections.
Huge tracks of things.
Video games. Yeah. So I collect a lot of little random things like magnets, like I said, pins, lanyards from conventions, but my
stickers, buttons,
pigs.
Button, who's got the button?
Pigs and piglet things.
Yes, I need a little bag as a pig on it.
I need a T-Love butt. That's the pin I need.
I want the shark. You won't give it to me.
I know, this comes up at every convention. I want your butt. I want your shark. And he's like, he backs away from us now. He doesn't like to be around us anymore.
I did actually try to steal it from other people that had it. I was like, give me that.
I've tried to take it off his lanyard like 5 times. I succeeded in getting one off one time, and he's like looking at me and we're talking, and I'm like, oh, this is fine. I start to put it on mine, and he's like, wait a second. It's fine.
I understand why he freaked out when I tried to get the shark one off of him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I had already molested his lanyard for his pins.
That's fine. We just talk about molestation.
I'm sorry.
Your lanyard is my lanyard.
Let's continue with your collection that we aren't stealing from other people.
Yeah, not stolen from
For
other
now.
people.
For now.
Bought my own. But our biggest collection in this household would have to be video games. And essentially, we're kind of the snobs too, like with the first editions. Like, you buy games digitally now.
Yeah.
But we like to have the physical copy of it.
Oh, heck yes.
So I have a bookshelf actually sitting right next to me that has 5 books on it. And the rest of it is video games.
So I feel like you now need to segue into exactly how many. the waiver.
Probably over 1,000.
Oh my
Not just on this bookshelf. We have them in boxes and in other places, but all the way back from like Dreamcast, yes, in other places. It started to spill over into my movie collection area, which is not good because I'm running out of space for those too.
Oh my god.
Probably 1,000, all the way back from like Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, all the way through. We don't have PlayStation 4. We're working on that. We don't have PlayStation 4 games because we don't have one, but all the way from the original Xbox to Xbox One.
Wow.
I'm like looking at it and I'm slightly disgusted right now.
We were talking about her stuff too before this, and I was like, yeah, I have like 200 and something like Steam games, right? And then I have like a box of Atari games and like a box of like Super NES and I think a 360 and a couple of other, consoles in between. But like the bulk of my collection is my Steam games. And I'm pretty sure, like, Kat, where are you sitting at with your Steam games?
Oh god, that's embarrassing compared to you guys. It's like 20.
Right. And then Alice, where are you at?
Maybe 10.
Yeah. Yeah, so the rest of us were like, we have, maybe a few hundred games, maybe 50 or something like that, right? And then, like, Tiffany's like, no, it's fine. It's like 1,000.
It's like 1,000. And
It's fine.
On Steam, I have like 116, but then each of our Xboxes have 2 hard drives full of games. So those are the online ones. And then, yeah, I have like 1,000.
So what's your favorite genre of game? Like, what is the thing you have the most of?
My favorite, see, that's different because our collection is obviously 2 people's collection.
Right, but he doesn't matter.
It's fine. He is you. You are him. He is
we
you.
are one. I'd have to say that my favorite genre of game is going to have to be like RPG. So I have like a lot of the original Final Fantasies.
Oh, yeah.
And all the Final
Which one's your
Fantasies.
favorite, though, Maru?
Oh, my God.
8.
Yes! Finally!
7. It's not 7. I like 7, but Final Fantasy 8 is my favorite.
Yes!
Final Fantasy.
That's the jam!
I think 8 was the very first Final Fantasy I played. So it has a very special place in my
8
heart.
was my
I
first,
still
too.
love 7, but I think 8 was the first one I played. So 8 is really great. Like 8 and 7 are just like in my heart.
I
Forever.
heart you so much.
Squall and Renoa. It's just, it's so good.
I
old
was
Squall.
I was so into graphics, so I needed the good graphics, and everybody's like 7. I was like, those graphics are crap. Like, I was such a snob back in the day. I was like, I upgraded from my Atari for a reason.
Yeah. One in like this, like the cutscenes and then the Guardian forces.
Oh,
and it's
so
like,
good.
Oh, they're so good. I could talk about Final Fantasy 8 for days, but I think I have all the Final Fantasies now except for like the 14 and 15, the newest ones. But,
I have 0, but I haven't played it yet. Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
You haven't played
Not really.
Final Fantasy?
We could breach you into it. I have all of them.
Yeah. Because I've always wanted to play it, and that one was on sale. So I picked it up, but I haven't played it yet.
You
I have this.
seriously haven't played Final Fantasy?
Never.
Ever?
No.
No,
Ever.
She's a bird.
Go play 7 at my house. So, funny story about 7 in my life. So obviously, it's PS1, and then I have a PS2 that's backwards compatible, so I can play old PS1 games.
Yeah.
And I used to have a copy of Final Fantasy 7. And when I've had roommates pretty much, since I was first moved out of my house, but because it's just more, financially friendly. But one year I had somebody live with me who was an old friend from high school, and I'm pretty sure when she had her boyfriends living with me part-time as well, they took my game, my Final Fantasy VII, which is almost impossible to replace at some point because they're so in high demand, that they took it and sold it. And I was devastated because I'm like, this is a game that I cared about and I loved and I took care of, and I was just devastated that I didn't have this game anymore.
That is
And
not
so,
okay.
yeah, so the same people who bought me the Apotheon game that I was streaming recently they stumbled upon a used game center and happened to find it because I couldn't find it online or anywhere for less than $100. And I'm like, I'm not spending $100 to replace a game that was stolen from me.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, like I need to do this. And they managed to find it at Veja Games here in town for like $30, and they bought it for me for like my birthday or Christmas. And so I finally got it back, and I'm just like, oh my god, like binge playing it because it was just the happiest day of my life to finally have it back for not $1 million.
That happened with Oblivion for me.
Ugh.
When I went through a breakup, I thought Oblivion was gone, and missed it for like 8 months, right? So finally gave in, and I bought like, I don't know, the update to like Skyrim came out, that like super fancy graphic version of it, and I was like, I'm gonna give in and just buy Oblivion, because I need to have it. And then, like, a month after I bought it on Steam, I found it, and I literally was next to tears when I found it. You have no idea. Like, that is my all-time favorite, hands-down game, and when I found it in my house, I was like, I do have it still! And it's the original, it's like the special edition. Oh my god, yeah. I understand. I get the feels.
Yeah, no, we all have the feels about the game. Like, there's the one who got away in the game world.
The saddest game I'm ever sad that I got rid of was called Pandemonium on the PlayStation 1.
Oh.
So not buy it anymore.
So what was that game?
It was this weird platformer game where you could play as 3 different characters in one. Like, one was a jester and one was kind of like a Harley Quinn character, but it was like super weird.
What?
Super weird. But I'm sad that...
I feel like we need to find this game and you need to stream it now.
Pandemonium? Yeah. On PlayStation. If we could find it. Yeah. I have a lot of games. They're all in alphabetical order. So, if you guys... I think it was Tabby that she came over and she was staying. She, like, stayed with me for, like, a night, and then, like, you, Gary, for, like, a night. And she was like, do you have any games I could play? And I was like, come into my office. and she stood there for 20 minutes. Like,
she's like, what have I done?
No.
Like, I don't even know what to do with this.
What do I do now?
It's gonna be cute when she comes over and says, "Can I borrow a book?"
Right.
Don't tempt me. Do not tempt me. I have this deep love for libraries and for video games. Oh my god.
You'll get lost in her house.
I'm just gonna start shopping at all of your guys' houses for things.
This is why sharing is caring, folks.
I don't loan out my games, so you have to come here and play them.
That's fine.
I could just move in with Kat and we could merge our bookshelves and then make...
Oh my god. One whole room. Like, the craft room is going to end up being a bookshelf, like, room.
I'm not kidding. Since Beauty and the Beast, I have always wanted a library to myself. I want a guy to give me a library. Yes.
I don't even care about the guys anymore. I just want that friggin' library. Cat. You gave me, so I like all the memes that are like,
you gave friends, give me the library.
Right. I love all the memes that are like, Disney movies gave me like a hair complex or like a guy complex. No. Disney movies gave me a library complex.
Yes.
Like, that's all I've ever wanted for the rest of my life. Thank you for ruining my life.
Yep.
I don't care who you are. I'll marry you if you give me a library.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that.
Oh god, yeah. You got a library? Put a ring on it right now.
Done. Done. I will buy my own ring and put it on it for you. Just give me a library.
Give me that library.
I want to put a book jacket on it joke.
Yeah. What's funny now is looking at my...
Or like a bookmark.
The 5 books I have on my bookshelf are cosplay and game books. Like, I have my Minecraft book that you gave me, and then I have a Diablo book.
Nice.
They're not even books that you read. I hide those underneath.
Those are propping up all the video games.
They're holding the bottom of the bookshelf.
It's important to do that.
It's fine. And the ones underneath that are actual books are just manga, not real books.
That's glorious.
I don't read books, guys. That's what I'm throwing out here.
That's fine.
I have regular books. I have books on drawing. I have books on drawing manga, which is a separate genre, by the way. I have textbooks.
Are they all in the Dewey Decimal System?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But only because I don't have the space.
Like, I don't have my library yet. That's what we're talking about.
Ideally, I would love a card catalog in this room.
Amazing.
That would be amazing.
I would come over to your place just to use the card catalog. That would be fun. Like, I'm just gonna flip through here and find a random one. Woohoo!
I'm sad that libraries have it all on computers now, and you don't actually get to like flip through the card catalog anymore.
Not all of them. There's a used bookstore downtown that it's a converted library, and they still use the card catalog for their books.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Although you get the kids that go in there and move the cards around and them to death. Which is why I would make an excellent librarian, by the way.
Kids these days don't know how to use the Dewey Decimal System.
Things they will never understand.
It's gonna be those millennial, memes where they talk about millennials don't know how to drive stick shifts or things like that, but it's going to be the Dewey Decimal System. Like that's.
I approve of this message.
I can do both, by the way. I can create a Dewey Decimal System and drive a stick.
Nice.
I could probably do them simultaneously.
He's like, I got
because I'm that organized.
She's like, and I know what a phone booth is. So there you go.
Snap.
And my dad has a phone booth in our basement.
That's amazing.
Because my family is crazy.
I need to see this at some point in my life.
So I will take you to my family's house one day for
Field
lunch.
trip.
And I will show you my dad's crazy ass stuff that he collects. And this is where I get things from. Oh my god.
Phone booth.
It even has a Superman suit hanging in it.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh my god, field trip.
Can we put it on?
Yeah, no, you can
Can we
totally
play
with
with it?
And the phone inside of the phone booth works. He has hooked it up so it actually works. You can call out on that phone.
I want to call in. Your mom would kill me.
No, I don't think she would kill you at all. She'd be like, "Oh my god, someone's calling me."
Oh my phone.
She loves talking on the phone, and she would love talking to you. So it's totally fine.
So I feel like I have to veer way off the reservation now because I
This is fine.
didn't go anywhere near any of the like normal things that people collect, like normal things like pop figures and books and pins and all these like video games. Like I don't know. I don't like collecting things. I'll collect like a few of everything, and it's like small amounts because I'm super picky about like everything. I am just a picky person. But the one thing that I can absolutely collect for days and days and days, and if I show up next to one, it could be the saddest little looking whatever, but I need it in my life and I will steal something from it, is volcanoes. I legit collect volcanoes. It's fine.
It's amazing.
Everything's fine.
I desperately wanted to be a volcanologist when I was a child. Like, I wanted to be president and a volcanologist and an astronaut, and that was my...
A volcanologist sounds very, like, Star Trek-y of you.
Right.
I want to study Vulcans.
Except I'm pretty sure at that point they were just like, volcanology's boring. Because we can go to space. But, so... this all kind of started because my brother came back from Seattle, like on a business trip, and he brought me like this little capsule of ash from Mount St. Helens, and it has ash from different miles away from the volcano. So there's one that's like, it's like right near like the base of the volcano. There's one that's like 5 miles away, and then there's one that's like 20 miles away, and it's cool like how like thin it gets the further out it goes, right? Because it has to float and whatever. But it was kind of it was cool just to have like this little capsule of ash. And I was like, I'm going to collect volcanoes now. Like, that's going to be the thing that I'm going to do with my life. And so, like, I feel like as we go, I'm going to give a little history lesson about all of these volcanoes I collect. So, by the way, Mount St. Helens is an active volcano. It sits at 8,360 feet tall. It erupts every 600,000 to 800,000 years. No, wait, that's not. I put that on the wrong one. No, that's the wrong one. That one's Mount St. Helens is the one that erupts very sporadically. Never mind. That's the other one. We're not going to talk about that one yet. So Mount St. Helens erupts very sporadically. There's no kind of like the last time it erupted before the major one in 1980 was like in the 1800s. Like, so it goes like back, and then like there's even bigger gaps between that, and then there's like a whole bunch of eruptions, and then there's gaps between that, and there's no consistency to this volcano. And so it was pissing me off looking it up because I'm like, I just need to know how often you erupt.
It doesn't want to be a part of your system.
It doesn't. It does not want to fit in my little happy list of things that I wanted to talk about.
Screw your time bubble.
So the last eruption, though, that's like the last time it's kind of had some activity was between 2004 and 2008, where it's just kind of done like a whole bunch of little poofs out the top, like little poof poof at the top kind of thing. So that's kind of what it does. It just poof poofs. So I did pull like a little snippet from the page about the Lewis and Clark expedition and when they first saw it. And they weren't the first ones, by the way, to discover Mount St. Helens. And they never actually went there, but they did go past it. And so the little blurb said, in late 1805 and early 1806, members of the Lewis and Clark expedition spotted Mount St. Helens from the Columbia River, but did not report either an ongoing eruption or a recent evidence of one. They did, however, report the presence of quicksand and clogged channel conditions at the mouth of the Sandy River near Portland, suggesting an eruption by Mount Hood sometime in the previous decades. So that was kind of like a cool little like, oh, they, like floated by there and they didn't think nothing had happened, but Mount Hood had possibly erupted around that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it kind of, you have no idea. It mixes my love of history and my love of all things explosively volcano-y, lava-y things all into one little...
Fire!
Right,
Death.
fire and death!
Brimstone!
That is amazing.
So clearly now I need to move into Mount Hood because I have a thunder egg from Mount Hood, and that mountain is 11,249 feet tall, so it's significantly taller than Mount St. Helens, probably mostly because the lid blew off of it, 30 some odd years ago, but it's fine, whatever.
Totally fine.
It's totally fine. So the odds of an eruption in the next 30 years are estimated between 3 and 7%. So it's active, but it's kind of like not super dangerous right now. And they typically talk about Mount Hood not being like a super like explosive volcano most of the time. It just kind of gurgles over a lot. It's a gurgly volcano.
It's a
Gurgle. It's like my belly.
It's like my belly. So thunder eggs are pretty cool. They are formed like in little pockets, little like gas bubbles of lava. And they have like this whole Native American legend around them that they consider them they consider them eggs of thunderbirds, which they assumed occupied Mount Hood and Mount Jefferson. And the thunder spirits would hurl the eggs at each other.
Cool.
So that's where they came up with what thunder eggs were, like this whole mythology around them, which I thought was pretty neat. So I remember seeing like this in the gift shop, and I was like, that's mine now. I'm going to have one of these.
This mine. Dibs. Dibs.
I'm trying to collect different things from different types of volcanoes. So I, ash from St. Helens, mostly just because it erupted and it was such a big deal. And so having all that ash from like different miles away was super cool. But I wanted something different from Mount Hood. So when I saw the thunder egg, I like lost my mind. It was like, I'm just going to have that. That's going to be mine now.
This egg, mine. Thank you.
Mine.
Go.
So my very last one is Yellowstone. I have geyser water from Yellowstone. And Yellowstone sits at kind of varying heights because it is a supervolcano, and so it is massive, and if it erupts, then it could like cause like a whole nuclear winter on the planet. It's super exciting, guys. It's fine.
Wow, nuclear
fine.
winter. That's what I've
Everything's
always
fine.
wanted to hear in my life.
Everything's fine.
The words I've ever wanted to hear most together in a sentence are not, I love you, or let's get married. It's
Let's have a nuclear winter.
Winter is coming, and it's nuclear. So let's do that.
Nuclear winter plantation.
Yeah, but it essentially could like block out a whole bunch of sunlight. It could like make winters extra harsh and extra long, and summers super short, and so growing seasons would shrink, and so it can do some massive damage to the planet. So supervolcanoes are on this whole other level, and so when I went, I had like this one like super major fear that this is the one, by the way, that erupts every 600,000 to 800,000 years, and it last erupted 640,000 years ago, so we're
of course it did.
Still in like a safe-ish kind of zone.
Safe-ish.
Right, safe adjacent. It's fine.
Safe adjacent.
But
the most safe I've ever felt is when I'm safe adjacent.
mind you, we would personally have about 3 hours to get away from the ash once it erupted. So we'd have like a 3-hour lead time on driving south. immediately south, as fast as possible.
Super south.
Super south.
I can get pretty far south. in
Like
3
Mexico
hours.
south, probably.
Well, we can get to San Antonio in 14, so this is fine.
Right.
This is fine.
Right.
And we go.
As long as you can beat the
I will
ash
haul
cloud.
ass. We're gonna get arrested in Texas, but it's totally worth it to not die.
So the cool thing is the caldera that sits underneath Yellowstone, which is this gigantic chamber of magma, is 34 miles by 45 miles wide. So that, like, it's this big, gigantic basin of death. It's fine.
Awesome. That
Right.
sounds amazing.
I know.
Big gigantic basin.
I know. So I was a little terrified when I went because I'm like, this is my life. Like, I will go there, it will blow up.
Suddenly now I'm gonna do the thing.
I kept thinking, like, my entire life I have been waiting to go to Yellowstone. That was like one of my other bucket list items, and then we went and I was like, it's gonna blow up this weekend. It's gonna blow up this weekend. Like, this will be the weekend.
This is the one time.
It was fine. It
gonna
didn't blow up. We're good.
You didn't end the world. Good job.
I probably can't roll the dice a second time, but, you know.
So I feel like we should watch The Day After Tomorrow now. That's fine. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right.
You know.
I love Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, I know
that
you
one
do.
and
I collect Jake Gyllenhaal.
You do. You do collect Jake Gyllenhaal and Kit Harington. These are things.
the movie 2012, that one had like a whole like super volcano scene in it where Yellowstone actually erupts. It was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it did.
That was the year of our Cusack.
Yes.
In the year of our Cusack, 2014.
Actually, for 2013, the entire year, I had the year of Cusack written on my calendar.
Legit.
So one of the cool things, so me and my brother and my daughter all went on like this little mini family vacation up there. And I remember walking like around the whole park system where like Old Faithful is and stuff like that. And we're walking on these, they have all these little mini wooden bridges that sit like maybe like a foot or so off the ground. And there's signs everywhere that say don't leave the path, right? And they have this like picture of like this little stick man like falling through the ground into like a geyser of death.
Sure. Logical.
Right. So I remember turning to my brother as a grown adult and saying, I wonder how many people per year like walk off the path and literally fall through the ground into burning hot water. And he's like, no, that never happens, you know, whatever. That, you know, that's just there to keep you on the path so you don't damage the rest of the park. And I was like,
But the sign's there for a reason. Just like, you know, hair dryers tell you not to like drop it into the tub with you.
I feel like they wouldn't like put a very graphic image of this guy falling through the ground into death water if somebody hadn't done it. And so I was like, no, come on, like that's got to happen at least like, what do you say, like once a year, once every 5 years, something like that. Like there's got to be like some consistency to how often people wander off the paths and fall through the dirt. Cue like a year and a half later. And, right, my brother's being super snobby about it because he's older and he knows so much better than I do. And so, like, last year in June, this man and his sister and I guess one of their friends or something like that had, like, wandered off the path, like, way off the path because they wanted to go do that, what is it called? Hot potting or something like that, where they go, like, sit in, like, a hot spring. They thought this was a good idea at Yellowstone. Mind you, the temperature of some of these pools of water can get upwards of 450 degrees or something. It's something really high out there. It's like well above 450.
That's like my normal tub temperature. That's fine.
Right. So this guy wanders over. He goes to lean over to test the water, and he falls in.
Oh,
Of course.
Oh, good.
Promptly dies. But they can't get him because there's a lightning storm coming into the area, so they can't retrieve his body. So they leave him. They come back the next day.
Of course they do.
Oh dear.
There's nothing left but his flip-flops.
Oh, no.
oh my god.
And it was hilarious.
Did they find some delicious meat?
Reading the article, the ranger had said in very short order there was a significant amount of dissolving. So even if like they could have come back and retrieved him that day, there's probably next to nothing they would have gotten anyway.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's crazy.
moral of the story, don't wander off the path. Just saying.
Don't do the thing.
Death burning
It's not
signs.
worth it.
You should have seen when that story came out. I posted on Facebook and tagged my brother. I was like, look at it.
I told you the thing!
Oh my God.
These
Nice.
things happen, I'm telling you.
Right. See, I was not wrong. You don't wander off the path.
I follow instructions. Good.
But yeah, so I have geyser water from a significantly less hot pool that I did not have to wander off a path to go get. But I got geyser water from Yellowstone, I have a thunder egg from Mount Hood, and I have ash from Mount St. Helens, and I'm planning to go collect basalt from one of the volcanoes here in Colorado. Well, hopefully when it warms up a little bit, because it's like a mile or two hike up to like where the mud flows were and stuff like that. So
Yeah, definitely warmer is a good idea.
right. So yeah,
Not
that's
too warm. Don't fall into any.
And don't go off the path, okay? Promise you don't go off the path.
luckily the last time a volcano erupted in Colorado, it was like 4,000 years ago. So
All right.
Due,
Yeah.
though. Means it's due.
right,
Now I
it's
want to make a dump Liz on the electric fence joke. 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel
oh,
like
definitely
it's
don't
the
do that.
same thing. Clearly don't do this thing.
no, it's fine. That's there is just like, a suggestion.
How do you watch the
fine.
person you came there with just boil to death?
Well, I mean, I can't imagine you'd go in after him, right? I mean, like if he like falls in and like you're kind of like, nah, you're on your own.
I feel like at some point you
like
were
a
like, you
Terminator
probably should have pistoled that fence, and they did it, and you're like, well, serves you right.
Right.
Is it a Terminator situation where you see like a skull reaching out for you?
Yeah, you nope that and run away. Like,
All the nope. Nope.
No, mind you, if one of you fell into one of these, I would, one, not come in after you because clearly you're dying and screaming in agony and there's nothing I can do because I'm not going in there with you. And two, I will tell the world of your story.
So everyone.
I will be your bard.
I will be your bard.
I'll come in after you, Kat. It's okay.
I'll come in after you two, and then Kiri can be our bard.
I'll be a bard for everybody. Maria, you wouldn't go in after them, right?
No.
Okay.
Like, I love
So
you
we're
guys,
just
but,
like, nope.
it's not happening.
I think we just have this pact. If one of us is gonna die epically, we die together epically.
No,
Like,
I think
there's
that's just you
It's gotta
two.
be Thelma and Louise or nothing.
No, that's
Yeah,
just
it's-
you two.
and that's fine. We accept that.
Me and Maru were like, no, we'll help you hide bodies, like,
Yeah.
we'll,
But
like,
the
help
rest
you
of
murder
whatever
people.
you're talking about is not okay.
We will not die with you.
You guys die. We'll tell your story.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep,
Yeah,
she
it's
will
fine.
social media the shit out of your story.
I will. This just happened. No.
You will live in Twitter infamy, I promise.
I will tweet it as it's
You know,
happening.
but that's all I've ever wanted.
She'll
That's
live
fine.
tweet your death in the geyser water.
There's nothing I can do.
Oh my god, all that's left is her pigtails.
It's like, good news, guys. Periscope. Look what's happening.
Exactly.
Download Periscope, otherwise you guys are gonna miss this.
I feel like that is a legit note to end on. All right, guys. So that's been like our favorite collectibles. You should like comment or tweet at us and let us know what you guys collect because I mean, like, I think we have a pretty diverse, pretty interesting group of things. So I'm kind of curious what other people collect.
Yeah, we'd love to hear more.
Just maybe not like
You have more than 1,000 video games.
right. Can you
Yeah.
compete? Get on my level, literally.
Can you tell the edition of a comic book by looking at the barcode?
Oh my god.
Right, that.
Because I can.
No, I cannot.
Tell you how.
Like, I don't. I have like one comic. But...
I can tell the addition of a print of art, so I have that going for me.
I can tell you how many people died in a particular eruption.
Look at that! See? Hashtag diversity. Hashtag diversity.
All right, guys. I'm Kiri,
I'm Maru.
I'm Pan
I'm Alice.
and this is Sheekery. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
die.